Right now, somewhere in the world, a person is having a heart attack. It will happen roughly 800,000 times in the United States alone this year. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the modern world. But here is the part nobody talks about. For almost the entire history of your species, it barely existed. Your ancestors hunted, ran, climbed, went hungry, and lived to old age with arteries that looked almost nothing like yours. That is not a guess. Scientists confirmed it by studying the preserved hearts of people who died thousands of years ago. In 2013, a team led by Dr. Randall Thompson at the University of Missouri scanned 137 mummified remains from 4 ancient populations: Egyptian mummies, Peruvian mummies, ancestral Puebloans, and the Unangan people of the Aleutian Islands, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years. The finding was the same everywhere. Atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries that causes heart attacks, was rare. The study, published in The Lancet, made one thing clear. Heart disease is not inevitable. It is not simply what happens when you get old, it is what happens under specific modern conditions. So what were ancient humans doing differently? Start with movement. Your body was shaped by millions of years of evolution to move constantly. Not to exercise for 45 minutes and then sit for 15 hours. Anthropologist Herman Pontzer at Duke University studied the Hadza people of Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer populations on Earth. His research, published in Current Biology, found that the Hadza walk between 5 and 10 miles every day, not as exercise, just as life. Constant movement keeps your blood flowing, your arterial walls flexible, and inflammation low. Chronic inflammation is now understood to be one of the primary drivers of atherosclerosis. When you stop moving, it rises quietly in the background for decades. Then there is food. Ancient humans ate whole animals, wild plants, roots, and seasonal fruits. No refined sugar, no seed oils, no ultra-processed anything. Their insulin levels stayed low because their carbohydrates always came packaged with fiber, which slows digestion and blunts the blood sugar spike. Chronically elevated insulin, what happens when you eat refined carbohydrates repeatedly throughout the day, promotes fat buildup inside arteries. Dr. Robert Lustig at the University of California, San Francisco has argued that fructose in refined, concentrated form drives metabolic dysfunction that directly damages cardiovascular health. Ancient humans ate fruit. They did not drink it in liquid form 12 times a day. Sleep plays a role too. Your arteries repair themselves at night. The endothelium, the thin inner lining of every blood vessel, undergoes critical maintenance during deep sleep. Interrupt that cycle, and the repairs do not happen. The American Heart Association now lists poor sleep as a formal cardiovascular risk factor. Ancient humans slept lined with darkness. Artificial light did not exist to pull them away from sleep for hours every night. And then there is stress. Ancient humans faced acute stress. A predator, a food shortage, a rival group. Their stress response spiked and then resolved. It was never designed to stay on for months or years. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, stiffens arterial walls when it runs chronically elevated. Modern psychological stress, financial pressure, social anxiety, overwork, does something ancient biology never encountered. It keeps the alarm running with no off switch. None of this means ancient life was better. It was brutal in many ways. But their cardiovascular system was not under the specific pressures yours is under today. The science here is clear. The link between inactivity, processed food, poor sleep, and chronic stress driving heart disease is supported by extensive evidence across multiple fields. What can you do? Move across the entire day, not just in one block. Reduce ultra-processed food, protect your sleep, and find ways to let stress resolve rather than run indefinitely. Your arteries are not destined to fail. The mummies proved that. Heart disease is not what happens when you age. It is what happens when an ancient body lives a life it was never designed for.